Howdy, people. Hello. The integration phase is what I want to talk about. So, had my first psilocybin trip a few days ago. Not a big dose. Not a big dose at all. But it did show me a lot. It showed me my capacity and potential that I have. Showed me my higher self. It showed me myself with no criticism, no judgment, and it showed me the eternal present moment, which was all safe and all loving. And that's the main sort of things I got out of it, is that the present moment is truly all there ever is, and to be stuck in thinking about the past or the future is pointless, and it's just going to cause a lot of harm if you start, excessively thinking. So basically it's about anxiety. I've got to... Alright. I used to think that depression was sort of the main obstacle I faced in life. But I realized that depression was just a byproduct of anxiety, because I know I have experienced anxiety since I was fucking born. It's been an ever present state there of thinking like, who am I? Like, where have I come from, and where am I going to go? What's going to happen? I'm constantly thinking, And if you're thinking, then you're not present. You're not in the present moment fully. So anyway, the integration phase, basically, this is a phase where you gather together what you learnt from a psychedelic trip, and you got to put it into practice. But integration the word for me anyway, implies that you need to gain something, you need to learn something. But what I feel is that it's more so you need to unlearn something, you need to let go of something and get back to this pure state of who you really are. Because when I was tripping, I was in that state of like, this is who I truly am. I'm everything and everything's me. And I don't like that's a big thing to say, like, what, I am everything, what? But that's sort of how I felt to a certain degree anyway, I felt very connected to everything, and everything felt connected to me, and it felt, that's the sense of oneness. But yeah, so I feel like that sense of oneness is a state of love, and I feel like the state of love is our natural state of being, and everything else is piled on top of it. So I feel like the integration phase is unlearning the shit that you learn. So here's an analogy. Say you got a camera lens and it's clean. That's the present moment, that's love. And then you get some dirt on it. That's all the other shit that you've learned, your conditioning, your brainwashing, who you think you are, all the problems and insecurities that you have. So what you're doing in the integration period is you're wiping your lens clean. You're not putting more dirt on it. You're not learning more. You're not putting more dirt on it, which is learning more. You're unlearning, so you're wiping that dirt off. Sort of how I interpret it as. So, yeah. So I think the main thing that I need to practice is being in the present moment. And I think it's been a few days since the trip, and there have been times where I've sort of gotten back into that state of presence. Probably not as much as when I was tripping, because I had a lot of like the energy going through my body was like well positive, but I have been able to get these glimpses of the present moment where everything is fine and everything's safe and loving. It's what it feels like anyway. So I think I need to practice that. And what I've gathered, what I've felt is to do this, the best crutch that you can use is to identify with the observer, with the witnesser, and nothing else. Now this is still sort of, I guess, part of your ego, but it's a crutch until you can get to the oneness, which is, seems very fucking far off to me because I'm so fucking identified with who I think I am. But this crutch that you can use of identifying with the observer or the witness can be a very helpful one. So what you do is you just basically, here's a way of putting it that might sound good. So say you put on a VR headset and everything that you are experiencing, like what I'm like talking now, my mouth moving, my hands moving, my head moving, that's not me. That's the video that you're watching on a VR headset. And you've got these haptic sensors, these haptic gloves, a whole haptic suit, you can feel all the sensations. But you're not doing anything, you're just sort of watching. And you can feel it, your hands do this, and you can feel that, but you're not actually doing that, you're just watching it on this VR headset. That's the best way I can explain it, to be the observer. So you've got to identify with that. There's lots of things to witness, is the thing, which is the hard thing. Now, seeing things is probably the easiest one. Just witnessing whatever happens around you and not trying to interpret it as anything, just watching it, no judgment, no criticism. And then feeling is probably my favorite one, actually, is like, or your body, like you pick up a cup and like you don't sort of identify I am picking up this cup. You just sort of say this cup is being picked up. It's not you. It's just, you're not doing it. It's just happening. Picking up a cup, and you just sort of watch your hand do that, and it's like, okay. You're not identified with you and you picking up a cup. It's just a happening. It's just something, you're not doing it. It's just happening. This is an interesting thing to watch. You just sort of watch your body do what you do. But the hardest one is watching your thoughts, observing your thoughts, because they come in so fucking quick and you can miss them and you can identify with them so quickly. You identify them unconsciously. Thoughts come into your head and you've lost this observer identity, and you start attaching your identity to these thoughts. That thought is me. You get angry. I am angry. No, it's just a thought, Because what we are deep down, I believe, is this point of awareness, this consciousness. forgot what I was going to say. But yeah, thoughts that come in, they're not us. Our thoughts are not us at all, but we like to believe that they are. And this is sort of the main thing I got on my trip. It was like thoughts coming into my head. I'm like, well, that's not me. You know, that's a lie. You know, the ego was still lingering on a bit and saying like, oh, you can't say that, or did you hear what you just said? What are you going to do about that? But then there's the other part of me that was just like, man, that really doesn't matter, 'cause that's a lie. Like, you're not me. That thought coming to, that's not me. I don't know. So yeah, integration phase. Just got to be more present. And there are times where I can do this easily, to a certain extent, of course, where I do just sort of watch my body and watch my surroundings without any judgment or criticism, and without attachment. You know, just watching it like it's not me. And I can get into it, and it's just like, oh yeah. But there are other times where I try to do it, and I'm like, okay, let me just be the witness. So let me be the watcher, the observer. And I can't. And I get too attached to my life situation. What's going on in my life right now? What are my problems? But yeah, problems don't exist in the present moment, because problems are an illusion. Just because the past and future is an illusion. And problems can only exist in the past and future. They can't exist in the present. And yeah, this trip really is probably the main theme. Showed me that the past and future are an illusion. And it's only now. It's only now. So yeah, anyway. Thanks for watching, guys. Comment, like, subscribe, share. And yeah. Have a good one.